Hold on, they said we're muted. No,
They can't hear
they're
you.
saying the stream.
I don't know if it's coming through anymore. Oh, change screens.
Hey,
there it is.
we go.
They can see you. They should be able to.
Can't see us.
We
Or
broke
can
it.
they?
They should be able to see you. Can they not see you?
I'm kidding.
Okay, right. I'm like, it's not the time. That's an actual horror story. Hello, and welcome to the Black Dice Society, Season 2, Episode 23, Home is Where a Heart Is. After this, we have 3 episodes remaining. As you all watch Jander and Sevra Sunstar locked in battle in Clore, this sprawling abyss, this place where everything comes to meet its end in the all-consuming black void at the center, Finn, you hear that voice again. I think it's time for you to go.
Go where?
Away from here. This is not where you find your end. At least not today.
Oh. Well, then are you going to help us leave?
Oh, yes. I think I have a very fitting destination for you in mind, but I pose a question to you.
I guess.
Normally, by the time people make their way here, by the time they make their way me, there's not much left of them. Wreckage, ruins, bones, and regrets. I don't often get to speak to living, breathing, joyful beings such as you.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you lived your life in pursuit of revenge for quite some time. Now that you've done it, what else is there?
Not a whole hell of a lot, honestly.
I suppose there's many kinds and many ways to exist in a void then,
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Well, one last question. Between the father and the daughter here, the Sunstar family such as it is, who do you pick to be victorious? Jander or Savra? Jander is more powerful. Savra fights with hate in her, and yet still love. Mortals are confusing.
Based on what I know of them, the daughter.
Well, I would be willing to let you, and then everything goes black. All of you, in the midst of watching them, just everything, the world collapses in on you. It's not like the Mist usually, where they sweep in and you feel the cold chill. You just feel absolutely nothing. And then a moment later, there is heat, humidity, and grass underneath you as each of you find yourself laying on the ground in a strange place.
Now
Well,
where are we?
That was utterly terrifying. That was like staring into annihilation itself.
Yeah, it was. The void was chatty at the end.
Yes, you said it spoke to you.
Yeah.
What did it say?
A fitting question for most of this group. Now that I got revenge, what was left?
What is left? You all hear coming from the sword Finn is holding. It says it out loud. So
Yes.
much pity and regret and why didn't you just kill both of those vampires and be done with it? The undead must be destroyed. All of them.
And I just look over my shoulder at the hilt of the sword. You know that includes me, right? It includes members of my friend group.
Yes, I do. I don't care. Come now, that one with the wings. She stinks of undead. Take me in your hand. Do it. And you all absolutely hear this. The sword is saying this out loud.
I must say, Fen, your new associate seems even more, shall we say, bloodthirsty than Nepenthe.
Yeah, Nepenthe never wanted me to kill any of you. And I just leave the sword in his sheath. I'm like, I'm not killing my friends.
You fear my power. You don't even think you
No.
can master me. Someone else will. It's just a matter of time.
Oh, I can master you.
You aren't worthy of me.
This
You're
sword
just
is
full
rude.
of yourself.
You there, Lupine. Come, grab me. Take me up. You could do wonders with me at your side.
I can do wonders with any sword at my side.
Love that confidence. This dump here's afraid. She's scared. She won't even unsheath me. She's scared.
Nah, you just talk too much.
Yeah, you're annoying.
Oh, yes, then make me be quiet. Do it. Come on. Grab me. Silence. Show me who's
see.
in charge.
I'm still in dread form, right? I'm actually going to go up in the air like 60 feet, so I'm not near any of my friends.
Oh, Fen, do be careful, Fen. Don't let it goad you into a rash action.
Do be careful, Finn. Don't let the mean old sword goad you. Will you stand up to Vecna? Will you stand up to any of them? You don't have it in you.
I killed the caller. I'm not scared of you.
A common fiend, simply engaging in parlor tricks. Never made its acquaintance myself, but many the caller dispatched made its way through Clore. Whining and crying, lamenting. You want to silence me? Take me up. Show me who's master.
Fen, do be careful. If what we've been told is true, that thing is an artifact of incredible unholy power.
Yes, I am. But I only war with the undead. Not in
fight me.
particular, but perhaps if I carve my way through enough of them, someone will know something. Someone will know where he is, how to find him. He'll remember my kiss, I assure you.
How you talk too much.
Seriously, is he going to be this chatty the entire time?
You can silence me whenever you want. Come on. Take me up. Draw me.
And I do that, but I stay in the air.
No, Finn.
Is it your intent to attune to the sword?
It is.
It just so happens we have previously rolled on your artifact table.
Yeah.
Join the
And now-
Patreon.
In the moment you draw the sword, you hear this time in your mind, not out loud, you must face and survive what I've been through before you can master me. And Finn, you see a horrifying vision. You see yourself in a tower with a storm whirling around you, in a hulking vampire holding the sword of Cass, who you immediately recognize as Cass the Bloody-Handed, pale and hissing, and across from him you see a lich. It's very different than Aslan. He seems very calm, utterly unflappable, and energy is crackling around him. And you see Kaz leap forward, and the lich holds up a hand, and the sword bites all the way through his left hand, severing it completely, and stabs forward, hitting him in the eye as well. And the lich begins saying something in an ancient arcane language that is profane even to hear. And a black shockwave erupts out of the lich, consuming the tower, consuming Kaz, radiating outwards, and the sword go hurtling off out of its master's hand. You see years pass, maybe centuries, of the sword going from person to person to person, always driving them to kill undead wherever they can, specifically liches, always searching for Vecna, never finding him until it made its way back to the Kingdom of Skulls, till it made its way back to have its revenge, and its final wielder was struck down by that Death's tyrant. And the sword has been laying there, waiting, raging, all this time. And a shockwave of psychic energy goes through your mind, and you take 80 points of psychic damage.
So Fen just died. 'Cause that is double the HP that I had left.
You all see Finn there holding this sword, her eyes getting wide, and then a flash goes off, and she just plummets down to the ground, all 60 feet.
Oh, Finn!
Finn, are you?
I'll
When Finn hits the ground, what happens?
Fen.
No, I'm asking the Lord of this land what happened when Finn hits the ground. You are muted, man.
See, I was being good because there's a cat meowing. So Fen hits the ground, and these sinewy black vines start to grow up and out and around Fen's limbs and across her torso, and sort of thread and braid themselves together almost in this macabre embrace. And it's less pulling her down into the ground, but creating this capsule around her. So all you see right now is the sword in her hand and the upper shoulders and head of Fen showing from the vines.
Can I reach Finn?
Mm-hmm.
Then I will immediately cure her. Third level cure wounds. If she's
Give me a dexterity check first.
of course.
Acrobatics.
Oh dear. I'm terrible at that. Acrobatics. That will be a straight roll. That is a 4.
With a 4, as you reach your hand out to try and touch Fen, one of the vines lashes up and a vine whips at you, its thorny edges cutting the surface of your skin like an angry cat.
Oh, I don't need to touch her to spare the dying. I can do it at range since I'm a grave cleric and as a bonus action. So I'll do that, certainly. Oh.
Okay.
I shall try, if no one else has anything, I can try healing word. That will work at range as well.
Let me see.
While they are struggling to rescue their friend here, I would say, one, you all notice something. Sword of Cass has stopped talking. From the moment she plummeted out of the sky, it hasn't said anything else. What, if anything, is Finn seeing during this?
Ben is seeing kind of a muted, filtered, like she's trying to look through dirty water. But everything is jumbled, and it's like she's looking through dirty water or dirty glass, and she feels the thorns around her and isn't moving because she knows how sharp they are, but she's barely with it. She just kind of knows she hit the ground really hard, but for some reason she's not quite dead.
And with Finn in this in-between life and death predicament, seems like an excellent time to say hello and welcome to the Black Dice Society, Season 2, Episode 23, Home is Where a Heart Is. As always, surely you must know by now, the Ravenloft story, and as such, there may be content that is difficult, indefinitely darker than you will encounter in your standard D&D story. As always, I'm aware of cast lines and veils. They know how to notify me if they're uncomfortable. If for some reason a scene should stop abruptly, maybe that is why. As always, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors. Die Hard Dice. You can use code BDS to get our chunky Dark Lords dice there and 10% off any other purchase you want to make at dieharddice.com. Our TeePublic store is again live. Bags, masks, shirts, pillows, anything that you could want, all available for you there. Secret Labs, I love mine. Our Idle Champions code, which again, the wonderful Lauren set up all the rest of them for us for the rest of our run here. So I don't think it's possible for me to mess up, but challenge accepted. If you type exclaim code in chat, you should be able to get that there. And of course, exclaim BDS art, where you can get our museum quality original art prints. Oh, there's a spider web on that. Now it's on my face. That's cool. You know, that is very fitting for Ravenloft, just for the record. Type in exclaim BDS art in chat. Every one of these that we sell, we make a donation to World Builders to help end hunger. Also, to the point that was made earlier, we have a Patreon. One of the things we did in the after show last week was roll the statistics for the Sword of Cass, one of which was Finn taking a catastrophic amount of psychic damage from attempting to attune with the sword. And some other delightful things that you're going to have to discover here. But if you haven't checked it out yet, we got all the bonus content we filmed, the side episodes we filmed. We're filming more bonus content next weekend, I believe. So we're going to keep rolling with that all the way up until the very end. And with that, now, Stream Deck is still broken from the OBS update. So let me say real smooth like, on with our show. Oh, wait, we should probably introduce who you beautiful people are. That's important. Let's start up here with Nahara.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nora Ibrahim. You can find me everywhere at Noralogical. And tonight I play Nahara, who is a reborn Fallen Azamar undead warlock with a few levels of College of the Spirit Bard. And it's totally not creepy the way that her Taroka deck pulls have been throughout this series.
To the very end, Uriah.
Hello, I'm Mark Neer. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Brother Uriah Macabre, cleric of the grave and worshipper of Ezra, Lady of the Mists, who, as we know, is the Raven Queen.
The artist formerly known as Finn.
Savage.
Look, if I could have the rainy noise sound effect, make it darker, I would. I'm Fen, or used to be Fen before the sword got me. Fen is a draw dump here, blood hunter with a little bit of warlock in her. And I'm Tanya, both our pronouns are she, her.
And Desmond.
Oh, hi, I'm DJ Knight. Pretty much DJ Knight everywhere on the internet where I can get it to happen. I am playing Desmond, human ranger lycanthrope, and thanks for hanging out with us. Our pronouns are he, him.
Special shout out to both Tanya and DJ, who are traveling and are doing this via hotel Wi-Fi. So go with God there in anime. And last but certainly not least, our special guest and returning champion.
Hey everyone, I'm V Muse. Pronoun she, her, as are Voronika, the Dark Lord of Koshmar.
Excellent. And now with that, on with our show. Voronika.
Yes.
You are, of course, completely aware of all of this. What, if
Oh, yes.
anything, are you saying to Finn, or are you allowing her simply to continue in this state?
Then you realize what you have in your hand, right?
Ranika?
Yes.
Yes, a sort of cast.
You are aware of what its purpose is then.
To kill liches. It has told me this repeatedly, and then it finally spoke out loud and wanted me to kill Nahara.
Yes, it doesn't exactly care for anything of the undead nature.
Well, I mean, that includes me and Nahara
Mm-hmm.
and you, maybe?
Do you feel you have the strength to take this on?
Yes.
I believe you.
I mean, I
But
will.
what are you going to?
path.
What do you intend to do with it for yourself?
My aim is to help us kill Vecna. That's what it was made for, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And when its deed is done, if it will not rest, then destroy the sword.
Then I'll make you a deal.
What is it?
Rather straightforward. You seek to end Vecna,
Yeah.
and if for some reason this sword does not stop, you come to me, and I'll make sure I assist you to make sure it does.
You'll help me destroy the sword if it does not relent once Vecna's gone.
Yes.
And what is it you want in exchange?
That you'll keep the sword away from me unless it's necessary.
Might I have a word?
No, because you're
No.
not.
The land.
No, actually, you may stay quiet and mute and cold.
Uncharacteristically, the Sword of Cast stops talking.
Oh, please teach me that trick.
You just have to have the better footing.
So what's your price? We know nothing's free.
Not everything has to have a price.
I've lived too long to not know a trick. Because this just seems too good to be true, Voronika.
Well, the trick is that it will serve me well to know that while a sword is in your hand, it will not be used against me.
Well, for what it's worth, you were never a target for me. My target's long gone.
And for what it's worth, she fears my power.
For what it's worth, I find you irritating.
Perhaps we could concentrate on a common foe. I saw that lich. back
Shut
there.
up.
Azalin Rex.
Shut up. One more time, and there's a very deep lake I can put you.
I have wings.
And there is no lady to bring you back.
Oh. So that story does have root in reality.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
What do you say, Finn?
I mean, I'd already had made a half a deal with Strahd, so why not? Better the devil I know.
Yes, and lucky for you, I'm not the devil.
Turn of phrase, Voronika. Turn of phrase. Do you want to go for a swim? I still have my wings. I can drop you off.
You didn't say anything.
You have a deal.
We have an agreement. A mutual agreement.
I would shake your hand, but well.
Speaking of, meanwhile, above ground, what do they see, Voronika?
They start to see as Fen comes to the agreement with Nika, the vines start to pull away from Fen and grow and actually take the form of Voronika instead. And her hand is extended out to Fen's, and she goes to grasp Fen's hand and heals Fen in process, pulling Fen up onto her feet.
Oh.
I was not expecting that.
Voronika, thank you for helping Fen. I was just about to, but well, we must be in Koshmar.
Yes, welcome back. I
Thank
wasn't
you.
exactly expecting you, but quite an entrance.
If you weren't expecting us, why are we here?
Apparently, someone felt it necessary to send you my way. Every so often, we, send one to the other for some of them find it fun. I don't know.
Right.
Fen, are you
well-
all right?
Better than I was before I hit the ground. I might even feel fully myself.
I'll try a medicine roll on Fen just to make sure she's fully healed. That is a total of 18.
Yeah, she looks like her normal self.
Well,
Sure.
thank goodness, Fen. That was very foolhardy of you. I know you have experience resisting the mental domination of cursed swords, but this thing is Well, I don't want to say it's another level from Nepenthe, but it's certainly a legendary item of great power.
It is. But I think we've come to an accord, and as long as I take out Vecna with its help. or-
Oh,
Who
I'll
are
I
we
mean,
taking out?
just that. I mean, I hadn't really been familiar with the name of this creature before, but if Aslan Rex himself holds this being in such high regard, it must be of fantastic power.
Well, you know how you're a Van Richten?
Hmm?
Yeah, that's Aslan and Vecna. Except
Oh.
Aslan is you and Vecna is Van Richten.
Aslan has done fan art for Vecna?
Don't tell him I told you, but you know, you
Oh.
got it from somewhere.
I suppose. I guess. Look, we do appreciate the hospitality, but do you have no idea why we find ourselves here?
No, but I am more concerned about the fact that there were fewer of you.
Yes. Yes, our strength has been reduced somewhat.
What happened
Perhaps.
with Soth? That is where I sent you.
He has been redeemed.
So it is true.
Wasn't
Yes.
expecting it.
It seems there can be an escape from this place after all.
Apparently.
And
But
Tatiana,
what of
Tatiana and Valentine, they're safe. We know that at least. Well, perhaps not safe, but safer.
Safe as far as when we last saw them.
Yes, that place seemed to have its own dangers, but perhaps of a less, shall we say, eldritch nature.
so where is this place that you've left them?
The name, I'd never heard it before. Brawl? I'm not sure. It seemed to be
Curious.
somewhere far beyond this world or any other world.
Well, it's a shame. I had hoped for other things for them, but if they are safer, perhaps happier, all the better for them then.
Yes, though perhaps not us. Our strength has been cut by a third, as I say.
Clearly. But it looks as though you're still holding your own.
I suppose.
She sort of looks to the sword, considering.
Oh, does that mean I'm allowed to speak now?
No, actually, standing rule, you're not allowed to open your mouth unless someone speaks to you directly.
I don't have a mouth. I just want to kill that Lich Aslan and all the rest of them. But
Fen,
Yes.
a word. I know you've struck an accord with this individual. You've sworn to help it kill Vecna, yes?
Yes.
Did your deal include Aslan's destruction?
Oh, that was a given.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, that's what I.
But here's the thing. From what we've discovered, I've come to believe that Aslan's fate may be somehow tied to what's happening in Darkon. We've already seen so much of it destroyed. If he is permanently vanquished, who knows what might happen to what's left?
So
I
do you
don't
think if we?
underst-
Oh, sorry.
No.
So you're saying if we kill Aslan, that destroys Darkon?
The remains of it. It's just a theory. I don't have much to back it up except for what I've been told, some of which could be lies, some of which could be wrong. We're very much in the dark here.
Doesn't seem like there's a situation which we can win if Aslan is destroyed. And then so is everything in that land. Or he continues to live and people suffer. I don't understand what, I mean, they may die at his own hands. I don't see any positive situation.
It is a conundrum, for if left intact, he's sworn to work as hard as he can to tear himself free of this place, even if it destroys Darkon and everything else.
Well, couldn't a new lord take their place? Such as Voronika did.
Well, I didn't take anyone's place. This is my domain.
That's right. You did recreate Kashmar.
Yes. If
Maybe.
Strahd has in fact been permanently destroyed, we know Barovia managed to exist afterwards. Or perhaps the fact that Barovia still stands means he'll be back again someday.
That's what I fear.
All of you give me either religion or history checks, whichever's higher.
Religion,
Be
or
religion for me, I think.
history. I don't know if I'm good at either of these.
I believe in you.
Oh, there we are.
I'm
It's-
equally terrible at both.
23 on religion for you, right?
Okay. I'll let you roll
Is
with
this Dark Lord
advantage.
excluded?
I was about to say, no, I'll actually let you roll with advantage, Voronika, because there's an aspect of this that you might be aware of.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
18
That
for me.
one.
It's I can see why Desmond's mind might be elsewhere, to tell you the truth.
Oh, yes.
You know, for reasons.
Mhm.
Yeah, just 33.
33. Perfect.
Mhm.
Finn, you suspect. Uriah, you theorize. Voronika, you're 100% certain. When Barovia became a dread domain, an actual existing place was swept up by the mist. Darkon was made for Aslan. He wandered into the mist and it sprang into existence. That's the difference.
Yes. My theory is that Darkon was made for Aslan, in some ways made from him. And so who knows, without any solid reality from another plane to tether it, who's to say what might happen?
And what might happen to you?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I certainly was born there. I am flesh of Aslan's flesh. But
Mm.
I've traveled to other realms. I've even left the domains of dread altogether. We've been in the Feywild. I think that anyone in Darkon is certainly doomed, if things progress as I think they might. Voronika, you certainly know more than any of us regarding the nature of the land and its connection to its lord. What might you think?
Each domain is nuanced. So perhaps what might hold true for one won't necessarily hold true for the other. But each domain is highly connected to the Lord. Their absence does affect it in one way or another.
I have a question for you. You said you
Of
could
course.
sense the other Dark Lords after a fashion. You could
Mhm.
sense who might be the ruler of each land. We know that apparently a vampire has seized at least political control in Darkon. Has this person, this Baron Metis, are they now its lord? Or does the throne still sit empty?
Voronika, the feeling that you get of what's happening in Darkon, to use a, if you go swimming and you have a pumpkin and you try and push it down under the water, and you can hold it for a time until it just shoots back up. This Baron Metis is attempting to hold Darkon. She doesn't have it.
Did you ever try to catch a bubble?
Catch a bubble?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was that time in the Feywild. There was quite a few. I may have.
You think you have everything right? Take all the gentle, measured precautions. You might even slick your hands with water and hold it in your palm and have all the confidence that you now hold the bubble. But that bubble is going to burst.
I see, and that is to be Darkon's fate?
In its current status, yes.
I see.
Aslan has left it in a rather vulnerable state.
He cares not for Darkon. He considers it nothing but his prison, not his responsibility. To say nothing
Yes,
of
Will.
all the people there.
Recall two things. You all have seen Ilaluk. You may recall there was a time that you all went back into each other's histories and you laid eyes on Uriah the night before he was going to be transported into the mists. You were in the city of Ilaluk. It was beautiful, and yet what you saw in Clore was a desolate ruin. Apparently, a significant portion of Darkon has already been lost.
Ilaluk was Darkon's major city, a metropolis. Thousands have already perished in it. I would save those that I can. Aslan said Riverless still remained. I know there are good people there, and I know there are good people in other places in Darkon, Tempe Falls, even at the Brotslava Institute, Vakar Springs. It's a vast place. Even if most of it's already fallen, there are still many who could be saved.
Uriah, what is it you intend to do?
I don't know. I can't do nothing.
At that point, Voronika looks pointedly at Nahara. And yet you have a connection to Aslan too, don't you?
Fortunately, yes. Much like many of us who wander our way through this land in search of some sort of connection, some sort of way to strengthen ourselves, we make deals that we don't understand at the time. And so, yes.
Well, the way I see it, Aslan is an absolute coward for abandoning his land and not taking care of his people. And his selfishness and his cowardice is crumbling. Clearly, Uriah, you want to do something about it. However, Nahara, your connection to Aslan might actually be a concern. For how will you get ahead of the creature you seek to return if it's living in your head?
Well, I don't think he's living in my head. I think that
No,
he's
that was-
able to.
That was my head he was living in, and then that stopped after I'd been dead for a while. And then when I came back, it was gone. And but yes, it's a different situation. I think he can
think
certainly contact her.
Yes, I think
That's
that's what
just
it's
it.
more that.
You can hear him in your head when he wants to reach out to you, correct?
Yes.
So there is a line of communication. There is a means of finding you. There is a way to gather information.
In a sense, yes, I see what your concern is. I don't think he's able to just hear and know everything that I'm saying or thinking. And
No, that was me. That was he could do that with
Yeah.
me.
but that's
Not
hasn't
anymore
been
though.
the
Not
case,
anymore.
though.
Do you think there's any way we might convince him?
No.
No, I suppose not.
When
Certainly beyond our power to force him.
when you say that, Uriah, you all see out of the woods a writhing mass begins to form. Voronika, this is not of your land and it is not under your control. It looks just like a black swirling mass of tentacles, the same thing that you all saw in Clore. So, must go back. You must go back. And it comes swirling across the ground towards you all. Is he? Why did he escape to?
As a bonus action, I'd like to activate my holy aura.
You see, as you do, first of all, Voronika, when he does this,
Mm-hmm.
this glow illuminates the land, and you see this mass pulls up into a vaguely humanoid form. It is just constantly falling over and reforming itself. Like, you all wish.
We wish to save the people, yes.
Yes.
Do you intend to save the Lich as well? Do you wish him harm? Or do you wish him
I don't wish him aid, but if his destruction means Darkon's destruction and that of all who dwell within, then I suppose we must preserve him.
a tentacle comes out towards you, Voronika, and rubs down the side of your face. All the Dark Lords have a place and must remain in them. Azalin will bring ruin to his domain. And all who dwell and burns ground for a distance.
Was that an acquaintance of yours, Voronika?
No, not an acquaintance.
What was it? So was it not from this land?
Oh, it is not of this land, but it has an influence.
It was one of them, wasn't it? Or their emissary, the jailers, the ones who made this place.
I don't like to give things like that a name.
Here in this area of Koshmar they're in now, What does it look like, Voronika?
It's actually near the edge of a lake, and it is a very deep blue tone. And it's somehow still yet moving at the same time. So the surface is smooth as glass, but you can see movement underneath. And for Desmond especially, it looks extremely familiar as you start looking around more. And you realize you are back in the old hunting lodge area of Kashmar, where you spent summers with your family, and Nika's family spent summers there as well. In fact, as you turn your back to the lake, you see the path leading up to the lodge. And the lodge looks as if it always has. Long and tall. Moss growing up the sides. Windows with checkered curtains blowing in the breeze. And the front door slightly ajar.
Desmond walks toward it and kind of looks confused the whole walk. He's walking tentatively. He doesn't want to rush in there, but he pushes the door open slightly. Peeks in.
There's natural light playing through the windows, leaving speckled areas where you can actually make out things like a cutting board on the table and the knife set to the side, and a bit of bread still left on it. A chair over in the corner that used to be your father's favorite, and a table next to it where his pipe would always rest, where his pipe does rest, and the smoke curls up from it.
Desmond is just confused, concerned, but also his interest is piqued. He's very curious to see what's going on here, even though he doesn't really trust it yet. He further in to see if there's anything else visible.
So you walk in.
Yes.
So as Desmond's form goes into the lodge, Nika looks to the rest of you especially Nahara. You are all going to be in a very interesting situation. Many, in fact. And with Azalin still floating in the ether, it will be tenuous. Nahara, should you decide that you'd rather entertain the bonds with someone who is less inclined to break their ties with their land, you let me know.
That possible?
Of course it is.
My only
Perfect.
concern is that no harm comes to my friends.
Have I harmed them yet?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as far as Azalin is concerned, with what decision to do with him, all I care about is that you all are safe, Uriah, and that you are safe.
Thank you. I would raise the point that Aslan has given his word not to harm us, but might
It was
see
out
the.
just on our wedding, though.
Oh yes, that was that. It was that. Yes.
Oh, we're getting married.
Oh, we are. Yes.
Yes, I know. I've already been working on growing some flowers for the bouquets.
Yes. I was
Aw.
just going to say that he might see the breaking of your pact with him as grounds for reneging on his promise.
Yes, maybe afterwards, though.
Let's
Yes.
just put it this way. It is a standing invitation.
Thank you. If there's any way that I cannot have to deal with him any further. I'm tired of old men taking control of my life.
He's a very old man.
I know the feeling all too well. Trust me on that one. And on that, she turns on her heel and she walks behind, following Desmond's path into the lodge.
While you all are headed up there, Nahara, you feel warmth coming from your Taroka deck.
That's strange. Is it you?
Well, I'm never too terribly far away, my darling. Sorry I haven't called more often.
No, perhaps your ears have been burning because I've been talking about you.
Oh, good things, I hope.
Yes, of course. Actually, the best of news. Uriah and I are getting married very soon, and well, I don't have any family here except for my friends that I travel with, who I consider my family. And other than that, I should really, it would be so much to me if you were able to come.
You would have dear old Granny. I'm sure I could put on a face that would be fair enough to fit in with high society such as it is without taking any attention from the blushing bride, of course.
Your presence would mean the world to me. I have gained so much awareness of the world that I'm in and have been able to do things I've never thought I'd possible for me to do because of what you taught me.
You see a face. The moment Voronika walks away, a face begins to appear in a tree. She says, I don't think Voronika will be too upset with a small face-to-face chat with my darling Nahara. And you actually see the branches kind of start to come down slightly and hold their arms out for a hug.
I definitely go in for arms and wings.
Yeah.
Double hug.
The hug is actually less intense than Granny's actual arms are usually. So it is very warm. And she lets go and she says, things have progressed dramatically since Zabilna's fall.
Yes, it's an understatement.
Getting too haggy. My sisters and I still have not necessarily made peace, but we have an arrangement, you might say. What if I told you that I managed to acquire a little slice of a domain for myself?
Have you? What is it called?
Tempest. Lovely place.
Tempest.
Yes. Perhaps you might take your honeymoon here or some such.
If I used my cards that you gave me, would I be able to reach it through the mist?
Oh, absolutely. There's no rush. I understand you have so much to do ahead of the big day. Is there anything
Yes.
I can do to help? I can provide. I know Voronika says she's growing the flowers. I'm sure the blood roses will be literally to die for, but perhaps birds. I see the ones here in Kashmar seem to be a little more figurative than most birds, butterflies, ring bearers, tiny happy children to participate in the ceremony.
You know, I
Or
think that would be
consume,
lovely.
if that is what you would like to.
No.
No.
No, not the
It's
consuming
not
part,
the
just
consuming.
the
Okay.
ambiance, because
Yes,
we are
decorative children.
it's a small wedding. So yes,
Right.
decorative children would be, yes.
I would be happy to provide them, and they'll be happy to do it. Yeah. Oh dear. I
Are
think
you sure you're getting along with your sisters?
Well, I said we've reached an agreement, and you actually hear the clanking of a pot, and you hear, hush up, or I'll put another log on the fire.
Can I insight check for her agreement or arrangement?
Absolutely.
Oh no.
This seems legit,
Hold
doesn't
on.
it?
I rolled a 3 on the die.
Yeah.
So it's a 14. I don't know if that
It's all completely above board. Yeah, right. Yeah. Why would Granny tell you anything other than the
Yes.
exact and literal truth?
well, long-standing toxic relationships take some time to heal. So I'm glad that you're taking the small steps to move forward.
Well, as they say, chaos is a ladder. Perhaps I should send Voronika a bouquet of something.
Well, you should never go to somebody's home empty-handed.
Yes, well, some lovely vipers, fingers of those who have wronged her, although I feel like she's gotten most of her own revenge.
Yeah, I think she's good on fingers.
Can you think of anyone who I might harm as a show of affection?
I don't know.
I know the perfect gift. Don't tell her. It'll be a surprise. I believe I can deliver it shortly.
What is it?
You should perhaps feign ignorance. And also, I don't want to say too much. Chances are high she can hear through the trees. Yeah, I will just say goodbye, my darling.
Wait. I will just say that Veronika's my friend. Just please be aware that in your gift picking, that we are not sending something that would probably not be best to give to somebody who is a friend of mine. Please.
I'll treat her like family. And
Oh, no. Come back.
Yeah.
Mm.
Meanwhile, in the house, what else does Desmond see, or as Voronika arrives behind him? Oh, actually, one other thing. I apologize. Nahara, give me a wisdom save.
Okay, this one isn't so scary to do.
I mean, bold of you to assume before you roll it.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that because I roll so 16.
As Granny departs from your presence, Desmond and Voronika are walking away as Finn seems to be making eyes at this sword that is probably saying something in her mind. And you see Uriah lost in thought. You become aware of another presence.
All right, speak up because I really should get back to the others.
My dear,
Oh, shit.
I've not caught you at a bad time, have I? Surely you would make time for your patron.
I don't often have a choice. So how can I help you, sir?
Ah, So very solicitous. One would scarce suspect that you've been shopping around.
Shopping around. Oh, well, we do have a wedding coming up. Yes. So shopping around. Yes.
The wedding. Yes. I
You
await.
picked out an outfit.
I await my formal invitation. You have agreed, but I think I need to hear you say it.
Oh. For a moment there, I was thinking you were wanting like a handwritten card, and we were not doing that. But here goes. Aslan and Rex, you are cordially invited to the wedding ceremony of Brother Uriah Macabre and Nahara. Oh my goodness, what's my last name?
It will soon be Macabre, I assume.
Yes. On this day, soon, TBD. You'll know when it is.
That will more than suffice, my dear. Tell me.
Yes.
The sword. Who has it now?
Good question. I'm not sure who exactly has the sword because, it's such a chatty thing and it actually hasn't said anything in a while. So who's
You
to
are
say?
not attempting to deceive me, are you, Nahara?
I honestly can't say that I see where it is.
Do not seek to pass your answers. A king knows how to cleave truth from lies. Where is the sword of Cass?
It is with Fen,
I see.
which is a little bit of a conundrum. Undead and such.
I would not have such a powerful weapon that might be turned against me, held by one quite so formidable.
But there's nothing I can do about it. I can't grab the sword because the sword is trying to kill me. So I don't know how to help you, even if I wanted to.
For now, you will observe, my pupil. Observe and be ready to act if I direct you. And in the meantime, I wish you joy on your special day and joy in the preparations for it. My regards to your groom.
I shall pass that along.
Fare thee well, child.
Toodles.
As you say, Toodles.
Meanwhile, now, inside the lodge, as Voronika arrives, Desmond being overcome by a laughing gas trap that you have seamlessly planted just across the threshold.
Mm-hmm. You saw the old practical joke that they pulled on our parents when we were children. But as Voronika walks in and stands behind Desmond, she puts a hand on his shoulder. It's curious. Your last visit, after you left, the lodge took on life again. It was as if your presence here reawakened things.
I now have way more questions than I can imagine. Why is my father's pipe here? Why is it lit? Why?
Because after you left, well, he showed up. He is here.
What?
Your father. He lives here now. He's probably out walking the grounds, to be honest.
Desmond just heads toward the door. Immediately outside.
Desmond.
Desmond, there's more.
One moment, Finn. What more could there be?
Your father's been helping me
How?
with your mother.
Right when she says your mother, Desmond just kind of reaches into his pocket, pulls out a handkerchief. The handkerchief he was given by Valentine, if memory serves.
It
the wedding.
It is a handkerchief from your wedding day. The edge of it, just the edge, dipped in your blood. The rest of it pristine, white, silk. And you are aware that Valentine had the mystical power to be able to clean it whenever she wanted. She never did.
To ask you about this and anything you'd tell me about my mother and my father is here helping you somehow. Are you hunting for her?
No.
Then how's he helping?
You know Zabilna took your mother. She was the
What
cause
else?
for her disappearance. This might be better for you to see rather than for me to tell.
Okay. Where to?
Voronika, at that exact moment, you become aware of another presence in your domain. Someone that you did not allow in, but has come across the border. Despite your will, and has entered into Kashmar.
That's not supposed to happen.
Is that allowed that Desmond could hear?
Mm-hmm.
What's not supposed to happen?
Apparently, I'm getting a lot of visitors today, and I've sent out no invitations.
So where are we going?
Follow me.
Meanwhile, outside, Voronika, roughly how far away was this cabin from where Nahara, Uriah, and Van are?
Probably about 50 feet up into the woods from the lake shore.
Van, did you see
Yes.
Desmond and Voronika enter into the house? You hear the sort of chaos in your mind. I didn't mean to get off on the wrong foot. Your friend, your dearest friend,
No, you're not.
will be.
We'll see.
My loyalty is unwavering, and my strength second to none.
Your boasting is par for the course for enchanted objects. What do you want?
Yet I struck you down easily. So perhaps it is not mere boasting.
What do you want?
You know what I want? It is more
In this moment, what do you want?
to get on with it, to do something, to go somewhere. Why are we here? What even is this place?
It's the domain. We're here because I don't know why we're here, because you nearly killed me as soon as I tried to attune with you. I don't know why we wound up here.
You resent me so much. You could take me to Tovag. Return me to my rightful wielder.
Isn't Cass dead?
Believe we both know that simple death is not an obstacle, especially not in these accursed lands.
True. I just resent you because you won't stop talking.
Resent you because you won't do anything. So perhaps we can reach some sort of an accord. Bathe
No.
me in that lich's blood, or return me to my master.
I'm sure we'll find some lich blood for you, or we'll get some at home.
Then,
Mm-hmm.
give me a charisma save.
Oh boy.
Hmm?
17.
You feel compelled to kill something. The sword demands blood. And although you resist the compulsion, do take 12 psychic damage from trying to fight it. Uriah and Nahara, you all see Finn grab her head in this flash of light again. You don't hear the sword. It's not talking out loud this time. But she's clearly struggling. What you do hear in your head, Finn, is, I will get my way. I will bathe in blood.
Finn, are you all right?
I just kind of like, I'm still doing that RCA dog tilt. As I listen to the sword. I've been better, Uriah.
Are you injured? Do you need assistance?
You, right at that exact second, you see a small trickle of blood come out of her nostril.
Oh,
Is it still chatting with you?
It is. So, quick out of character question.
Mhm.
Where we are in Kashmar,
Mhm.
would there be some place for me to go hunt and kill anything to save the sword?
Well,
absolutely.
I might be able to help you with that
Oh.
because I can cast summon undead, and I'll just let you kill them.
All right.
While that is valid, the sword wants blood, but it also wants smoke with the undead. Voronika, I am curious though, just in general,
Mm-hmm.
what sort of game is here in what was once a hunting ground?
There's animals that look like deer that are off in the tree lines, and the stags have these antlers that are shaped more of bark and branches than of antler bone. And instead of being the soft brown of deer, it's more of this mossy black color in tone. And they have these very vivid red eyes.
Voronika, another thing you realize is in the direction that you are going to head with Desmond. You, Voronika, and Desmond both having seen Finn in this state now. Hemlock comes running up to you. What does Hemlock look like, and where does it come from? It's clearly distressed about something.
Hemlocks come from almost the opposite direction, running along the line of the shore. And he has the body of a spotted black leopard and these 6 black adders growing out of his shoulders and these very bright, vivid green eyes. And he is snarling and making these growling sounds towards Voronika to get her attention, and the snakes' heads are hissing at the same time, sort of looking all in different directions as the Commandant comes charging towards her.
He's with you?
He's my cat.
Ah.
Hemlock.
Hi.
How does Hemlock greet them, if at all?
Doesn't pay attention to them. He's more focused on getting to Nika.
You know, he knows about the intruder, Voronika.
What is going on and where is this person?
He lifts his head and sniffs and then takes off, bolting towards the area of the woods. Ben, do you intend to give the Sword of Chaos what it wants?
Yes, because I asked that out of character, I will now look at Nahara and also Voronika. This sword wants blood, and it will give me no peace. Is there anywhere I can find undead that are not my friends to give it a nice drink so it will shut up?
Now that you mention it, there is something I could do. It's going to be my first try. I don't think I've done this before, but I know that I can do it for some reason. If I may help you.
Please.
All right. But just like wait for my signal, just wait for my wink, right?
All right.
And it's in within 90 feet, but I'm going to say 30 feet away. I cast Summon Undead. And it just kind of like blurry, just like gloopy thing, just like out of the ground, like from a zombie movie, or like arises from the soil.
What does an undead native to Kashmar look like as it erupts out of the soil?
It's a collection of mismatched skeleton bones. You have a humanoid skull, you have the pelvis of a bear, you have the arm of something that must be closer to giant. So it is undead, but it is a collection of undead.
Oh, gosh, that thing's got an enormous pelvis. Look at the size of the pelvis on that thing.
Yes. Now.
It literally get it from its mama.
Childbearing hips.
Oh my goodness. Now, this thing awaits my command, as per the spell says. Hey, you there. I snap my fingers. Run. I command it to run.
And it's
And then
terrible.
I
with
look
its
over.
misshapen legs and limbs as it starts to. I definitely feel like Hemlock stops and gives the slow turn, like right at it. And then
Even the heads.
Yeah, it's like the snake heads keep looking at it, and then the panther head looks at you, and then the panther head goes back, and the snake's head look at you, Voronika.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for
So
the
I
kill command. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So my command that I give this creature is run. And as soon as I say run, that's the signal. I'm like, get him, Finn!
So I chase after it so I can go kill this thing and feed this sword so it can, oh my God, shut up.
And give me one more wisdom save.
Oh boy. Wait, wisdom or charisma? Because you had me do charisma last time.
Wisdom.
Alrighty. Ooh, 23.
As you run after this thing and you draw the sword and you feel yourself closing in on it, it just feels magnificent. Like the sword's been complaining and giving you a hard time, but it's like when you're actually going into battle with it and giving it what it wants, it is the most electrifying thrill you've ever experienced. And here is our friend launching into battle against this hapless undead, which I'm sure there will be no negative repercussions whatsoever for having given into the demands of the sword of Cass. The domain of a sword of Cass, very different. A good place for us to take a little break. We'll do a quick 10. I'm going to wait. Voronika, as Hemlock is bounding off into the forest, as Finn is happily burying Cass, the sword of Cass, in the back of this misshapen abomination, shattering it into pieces. You all hear a loud, anguished howl. It is not the howl of rage and fury that you usually hear. It is pain and despair.
Does it sound like a lycanthrope?
Sort of. You can all make nature or survival checks.
Hmm. I got the same
No,
plus either way.
actually, a 25.
19.
21.
If it's a lycanthrope, it's a small one.
Hmm.
Desmond changes and sprints toward it.
Should we go
Voronika
to
just
help?
vanishes and goes in the same direction that Desmond was running.
We should
Uh,
probably go to help, yes?
Yes.
Very well. Yes, let's be off.
Gonna
Or-
pop a dread form real quick.
Finn, you find that once you're done destroying this undead, even though everybody sprints off and you're prepared to, for the moment, the Sword of Cass doesn't say anything. It's like it's sated, like a baby that is milk drunk. Sort of as you see the blood dripping off of it from the various assorted animals this concoction was made from, run down the blade, it is at least temporarily satisfied. And wielding it feels incredible.
I just have like a feral smile as I just kind of stand there and bathe in it for a minute. And I actually don't even sheathe the sword. I just take off because I'm so in dread form, like catching up with Nahara, who's flying too, I'm assuming.
Voronika,
Yes.
how does the land respond to Desmond, and ultimately, what does he see?
As Desmond starts running, the vines actually pull back and clear the path for him. And it's quick and easy to pass through. And as he gets deeper into the forest, it's almost as if it's showing him the way as he's following the sound. And as he gets to a clearing in trees that are in this thick circle where it's almost difficult to go between them if it weren't for the fact that the forest practically shifted itself for him. He sees the figure of his father and another figure crouched down in pain next to him.
Allah, okay. Everybody be calm. It's okay, babe. I'm here.
She got out.
He turns and looks at you and he's like, I don't know how she... And his eyes lock with Desmond. And his eyes come down to the necklace. Desmond?
Second, Desmond hears his name from his father. He changes back just instantly, faster than he's ever done so before.
And you see he does just run and throws his arms around you. And you get his scent. It's him, but you can see the scar across his throat. How Harkon Lucas said he beheaded him. It's him after a fashion. As if he had been stored in a dank, mildewy basement for a very long time. boy. Look at you, so strong. And I didn't know that the necklace had made its way to you. I can just take it back from you. You don't even have to wear it anymore. That's the whole thing.
It was a gift. You gave it to me.
I didn't want you to have to carry the full burden. I didn't know what it was going to bestow, what he was going to demand. Listen, there's a man named Harkon Lucas.
I've
He's
met
here.
him. He told me that he killed you.
Oh, well, that means you must have torn his throat out then, didn't you? My son wouldn't have let something like that go unavenged, right? Right?
He nearly killed me when I tried. And the main reason I didn't try to attack him again is because of how easily it happened. It was as if he toyed with me. I gave him all I could give. He made me stronger than I ever was before. And even with the new strength, even with the new power, he batted me around like a rag doll.
Yeah,
And now I'm here, and you're here.
Harkon Lucas is the kind of conductor that doesn't share all the sheet music, if you know what I mean. I'd intended to balance the books with him. I just had to, and as he turns and looks back, that figure gone.
Father, I have a question.
Voronika, yes,
I'll
son.
go find her. You speak with your son. I'll return.
Was that my
And
mother?
she vanishes off in the tree line.
As she vanishes, Desmond just, was that my mother? You say Harkin's the kind of conductor that doesn't give all the sheet music, but I feel many missing notes here. So unless you want me to think you are as much like him as you hoped to not be, you've got some answers, and I need them. What is happening here? How are you here? Was that my mother?
Your father, when you were younger, he taught you a sort of very shorthand, almost version of thieves' cant. It was a way for hunters and soldiers to be able to communicate very quickly out in the woods, in and around Kashmar, and not easily give away your position. He says to you, sort of in this shorthand, not in front of the strangers.
And Desmond flashes back in the same cant. These aren't strangers. At this point, they're family. Let me introduce you.
You all hear them saying words that are in common, but it's almost like an odd mix of bird calls and things with just like a couple of words, but they're clearly saying something to each other. And you see this man very clearly Desmond's father. Having seen Desmond and Armand, it is almost like he is a perfect mixture of the two of them.
I think I know what the answer will be, but I will raise my eyes of the grave. Does he seem undead?
He is not undead, but Nahara, if I might make the assumption that you've got your orb somewhere nearby.
Oh, always if there's trouble afoot.
He registers as undead in the same way that Nahara and Finn register as undead. He's something else. Nahara, when you look at him with the orb, it is almost like he's a projection of Koshmar. He exists. He is standing there. But just like when this entire place is almost all Voronika, he's just another extension, just like the trees and the rocks and all of these other creatures.
Can I send a message to Voronika? Like using message. Did you create him here? Or is he really here?
He showed up. The day after Desmond left, he showed up. And then I found his mother. I'll be there soon.
Desmond, when you say they're like family, he just says, fine. I can tell by their bearing that all of them have seen things.
Desmond just raises his hand back for them.
Simple answer, son, is I lost. Darkon came back to claim what by right and by oath was his. We had an understanding that I would turn Koshmar over to him, but by then, I'd met your mother, you and your brother had come along, even Voronika and her family. And it's just that there was too much for me to lose, too much to give over, so I did what I had to do and I fought. I lost. And somehow, some way, I guess enough of my blood had soaked into this very ground. And when Voronika's magic stretched through it, in your presence here, something reconstituted me. I can't explain it either. And the first thing I asked is what happened to my boys. And the second thing I asked is what happened to your mother.
And we found that out together.
So what happened to her?
What do they see, Voronika?
They see Voronika standing there, and she actually has scratches on her skin, and she's removed her cloak and she's put it around this hunched over figure. And you can see she's holding this figure firmly, but also gently at the same time. And she looks to Desmond, and there's a genuine look of concern on her face as she goes to pull the hood back to show this figure's face. And Desmond, when the hood falls back, you see it's your mother, but almost a mix of how she is as her fully human self, but also in her wolf form. It's as if the two have sort of stalled within each other. One cannot become the other. It's stuck. And she has this half wild look in her eyes, darting, looking from place to place, not able to focus. And when her eyes focus on you for a moment, there's a slight moment of recognition, but it quickly fades away.
Also see as she's sniffing around, and she does look at you for a moment, her head rotates to the sword of Cass and the blood dripping down it, and attempts to move away from Voronika towards it, but can't quite get out
No.
of her grasp.
No, you must stay here with me. Stay here with me.
And you see your father, Cyril, turns towards her and says, Allah, Allah, hey. You don't want that nasty blood anyway. Just look at me, darling. And you see she does look at him, but there's no love or recognition in his eyes. It's just his motion and voice has her attention.
Is there anything that can be done for her? If she's trapped in this transitional form, I mean, she can't really consent, but I could try to remove the curse.
Don't you think I've already tried things?
I'm sure my power that I'm able to channel from the Raven Queen pales before yours here.
Right after Desmond hears that, he looks at his father. Can you change?
Tears are coming down his face, but they could best be described as pond water. When you held him, he was warm physically. It is him. And yet, even you realize, Desmond, that he's a part of this. I can, after a fashion. I'm sure you've caught on by now that not everything works the same in the land we once knew.
I was here when it was created.
Sorry, son. I can't help but feel that I helped bring this down on your head. That I helped bring all of this down on your head.
Give us a home, regardless of whether or not owed to someone else. You did what you thought was right, but hold on to it for us. Now is not the time for apologies. I asked if you could change because that is my mother. She is torn between human self and her wolf self. Stands to reason that in changing, you have a better chance to talk to her. So if you can't, I will.
Nahara, while they're talking, you can see very clearly that there is a mist floating at the edge of the forest, not so dissimilar to anything else in the ambiance here in this part of Kashmar. But that mist is a person in hiding.
Am I able to see any clearer of who this person is?
Because of the physical shadows and darkness, you can't. It allows you to see through the magical transformation of the mist. To you, it looks like a person skulking in the dark.
I want to get a little closer.
When you start to do this, you see they look towards you and immediately dive behind some bushes and are gone. Natural 20 on a stealth roll, gone. Like smoke bomb.
Hello? Hello, are you there?
Were you talking to me?
No. And I send a message because I don't want to ruin this conversation that's going on. I don't want to interrupt. Uriah, there's something.
What?
Something that over that way, a being.
Nahara, give me an intelligence save.
Oh boy. Rolled a 17 with +0. to that.
What is Nahara thinking right now?
She's thinking that her and her friends have seen so much violence. It's more of a curiosity. If this thing here was a foe, they would have just attacked us. She's very curious as to know what they seek.
And specifically right now, in this moment, where she is in life, how does Nahara feel about Stradmon's?
Well, in light of recent discussions, what once was relief is now worry over, is this just a matter of time before he returns? And how much time do I have?
Uriah, you see her looking towards the edge of the forest. What is Uriah doing during this?
I will cast True Seeing.
Similar to Nahara, you don't actually see anything. There's no magical obfuscation to barring your way. I will say beyond this, this is the first time you perceive, as Nahara has perceived, how all of this place is an extension of Voronika herself, even Cyril. However, his mother Allah is not. She is not a projection of Kosmar. She is an independent being. Cyril is... Uriah is aware of the fact that the domains can create people. Something similar. Probably what he said is not inaccurate. His blood soaked the ground of Kosmar, and Kosmar brought him back. Whatever is in the woods is hidden by mundane means, not supernatural. So the true seeing doesn't penetrate it.
However, if it falls into a certain class of creatures, if I cast Detect Evil, I will know its exact position. But it must be, I believe, a celestial, a fae, a fiend, or undead.
Would you like to cast Detect
Yes,
Evil?
yes, I will.
Then I would like to draw from my Taroka deck to see what it is
I'm gonna
that's
do these in reverse order, so you can go ahead and start shuffling.
okay.
Voronika, not counting the intruder. Not counting the intruder. What does Detect Evil reveal about the area that Uriah currently finds himself in?
There are definitely a variety of undead sourced around. There's also a few fae of origin.
Are there also, I missed a few, aberrations or elementals?
Couple elementals in the distance.
Although you've traveled some distance, that mark where that mass melted and burned the ground reeks of aberration and reeks of evil. And you are also,
Aberration?
yes. And you are also aware that whatever is hiding in the woods, and you know exactly where it is also undead. Cut and then draw.
Oh, you want me to cut?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, let's do it spicy.
Okay. Priest. I don't like that face.
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
Slavery, servitude, fear, which will make sense when you find out what this is.
I shall Is the message spell still going? Like, can I communicate with Nahara?
Yeah, it's like you
Yeah.
whisper in each other's ear, basically.
Yes. So I say, whatever, if it's 30 feet that way and exactly where it is, I essentially say, whatever it is, it's undead. And it's about 40 feet in that direction, just about at 2 o'clock.
Right. Whatever this is, it's not going to be pleasant, I don't think.
By the way, I'm just saying 40 feet. I don't know exactly where it is. B-Dave will tell me exactly where it is.
That's as good as any. I mean, but it's of course you're like next to that tree, under that bush, behind behind that log type thing. You would know the presence of it. Desmond, give me a perception check.
$21.
So you are aware that Uriah and Nahara have noticed something. You are not aware of what it is. Like basically the two of them are, although you have your mother and father in front of you, which is distracting, you do notice them. And I believe you said you wanted to try and shift to speak to her, correct?
He was waiting to see if his father responded to the idea.
Let me ask 2 questions. Actually, this one I got. You see Cyril just takes a deep breath and does begin to change. He is almost as big as Harkon Lucas was, but a little smaller. You realize whatever Harkon said, it couldn't have been easy to defeat him. But he's very different than you now. His fur is a thick green moss, and there is a row of almost brambles down his back. And when he opens his mouth, his teeth are like thorns. And his eyes are just midnight, almost pitless black. Not unlike Uriah's eyes. Yes. As I said, things are different in the land we once knew.
And Desmond changes.
You see, he just sort of looks at you, just like nods slowly and approvingly. My son, I would not have wished this fate on our family or our land, but your strength makes me proud.
I know of no other way to be. And for that, I thank you. He
Voronika,
looks to his mother.
you feel she's trying to pull away and go towards him.
She lets her go.
He walks right over towards the two of you. She's still the size of a human, so you tower over her. And she does like sniff up warily, and you see she just bows her head in front of you in submission.
Mother, never have to bow to me. He takes the next finger and just like puts it under her chin. Raise her head.
She looks up at you and opens her mouth like she's about to say something. And from the tree line, you just hear, "Mother, no, no, no!" And you all see Armand explode out of the tree line, stalking towards you with a sword out. What is this? Voronika? Father? Mother? Monstrous? was no one from our home spared. Nothing but monstrous ruins now.
Aren't
Desmond was-
you the one to talk?
You see, he bares his fangs at you, and he
Oh,
says,
put them away, you little imp.
"Little imp, I give up everything for you. How I've searched
No.
for you."
You searched for an ideal that you had built in your head. You gave up nothing for me. You built everything for yourself.
Mother, come. And when he says it, she just looks at you wide-eyed and turns and walks straight towards him. And he puts his hand around her, and he does hug her. He's like, "Get behind me." And she does. You're right. I believe you said something. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Uriah's just doing that.
And
Question, is the Sword of Cass reacting to anything?
Sword of Chaos has not said anything. It's still riding high. Although you definitely feel a tingle being confronted with a vampire. And the Sun Sword also is like, we can do this. Again, the Sun Sword does not communicate in words. It only communicates in emotions.
Yeah.
But it's very much like, oh, him.
The emotion is go time.
Yeah. It's like him. And you all see Armand standing there, and he says, "You all are the only people I ever loved. And you stand arrayed against me. You've done this to our mother?"
I did no such thing to her.
How does she come to fall to such a sorry state? I know how I did. Searching for you, and you, and you.
Armand, calm yourself. You dare tell me anything after the search I've gone through with them to find you?
So you say? Fine, fine. Well, I guess we're all together again, one big happy family.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
And what have you done with our mother?
I seem to be the only one trying to keep her safe right now.
I have only just come upon her, trying to figure out what is going on.
Wait. You know these land? It's this Koshmar. Oh! We used to play here as children. The lodge isn't far. Perhaps we could just all sit down for a nice family dinner again. Wouldn't that be nice? Voronika von Zarovich told me about what you'd done, and I didn't believe it. I thought surely, if anyone could hold on to what they were, it'd be you. That our home would be safe.
Oh, but I did hold on to who I was and what I wanted. That's just it. You thought you knew me. You made no effort to know me. You created this figure in your head, this mythical creature on a pedestal that I never was.
You think me some great fool. I saw the way you looked at him. I just thought, perhaps, if someone that you'd ever known in your life would put you first, that might mean something to you. Because no one ever did. He didn't. Your grandmother didn't. Only me.
No, you didn't. I put myself first. finally.
I did pray to the gods that we'd be together forever. Perhaps I should have been more specific. And you see Cyril looks at him for a second and turns back into himself. I've apologized to your brother and to your mother, but not to you, son. You were so little, and yet my uniform fits you so well. Might I embrace my boy, even if it's only the once? You see Desmond looks at him. Voronika, if you ever bore me anything other than resentment and disdain, speak the truth to me now. Is that my father?
He is as much as your father as he ever will be in this land.
See Cyril very slowly approaches him. He turns and looks back at you, Desmond, and holds a hand out. He does hold his arms out for Armand. And Armand sort of stiffens for a second. And Cyril does wrap his arms around him. And Armand looks you in the eye, Desmond. And you see he opens his mouth wide and his fangs come out.
Desmond's already there, grabbing him by the throat.
But as you grab him, see, he just looks at you and they retract. And he says, I'm the only one who ever put him first. I wouldn't harm even his specter.
If you wouldn't feign that you would.
I considered putting him out of his misery. Don't tell me you didn't. Let go of me.
Thought that you would feign to harm our father. You were not the Armand I thought I knew.
The Armand.
I'm speaking. I'm
knew
speaking to
is
Strahd.
dead. Don't mention his name again. He used me to find ways to hurt the two of you. I don't know that he succeeded, did he?
Did. Because you would never do this without goading. Pushes him off.
When you push him, he holds his sword up and says, she calls me weakling. You call me savage. What of the rest of you, Finn, Uriah, Nahara?
I call you a fool.
I wouldn't pass judgment. This seems to be a family affair.
Yeah, I'd rather stay out of this one.
And Tatiana,
Finn.
Valentine, come.
They can't hear you.
They're not
She
here.
never missed an opportunity to speak daggers.
Armand, I've seen firsthand what Desmond has gone through to get back to you, to find you, your parents. Has becoming like Strahd warped you so much.
Thank you, brother, for endeavoring so boldly. to rescue me from torment. About 50 years too late.
50? That's not.
50 years.
50.
We've been gone for quite some time, as you'll recall. Our time in Blutzba.
Was in Castle Ravenloft. Countless nights. Very difficult to tell when the sun doesn't rise. And then there was a light. A light broke through. When Varzarovich, in his rage, spoke of the impotence of Voronika. The new power in the dread domains. And I knew I would have to find a way to get back to you. Somehow, some way. I didn't know until after Desmond told me and then Von Zarovich confirmed. Or was it the other way around? Strahd told me and I thought it was a trick and Desmond revealed it to be true. It is very difficult to keep track of anything anymore.
And as he says that, Desmond changes back into his normal form. Armand, wait. Listen to me, please. I know that with your abilities, that's my heartbeat, as easily as you can hear anything in this forest. Correct?
Yes.
Then you know when I'm lying. Correct?
Having gotten a natural 20 on his insight, he absolutely does.
As far as I'm aware, it has not been 50 years. Had I known, I would have approached you differently. But either way, you approached our father. This land's version of him, he may be, in a way that you know I would never do. You know that you would never do. Everything that experienced initially started in hunting for you and Voronika. And now that I know, you can sense whether or not I'm lying. You know this to be true. No jokes, no tricks. I am not that thing that changed you.
You see, he looks you right in the eye, and then he looks right past you at Voronika. Voronika. Barovia is unclaimed. Together, an alliance between Barovia and Koshmar, we could rule the kingdom we dreamed of. We now have eternity at our fingertips.
No. That's never what I wanted.
What did you want then?
Autonomy.
About it, brother. I understand how much this must hurt.
Why? She loves
What?
you. She always loved you.
Loved. Look at where we are. It's her land. The thing she wanted most wasn't me. Wasn't really to be the queen. It was to be able to make her own decisions. We are standing in proof of that. I understand the pain you must feel because imagine if anyone else would feel it, it would be me.
Why? You made your own decisions too. You left.
When did I leave?
what everyone else asked. Everyone. I upheld our family name in Kashmar. I took over father's mantle when he died. I looked after mother. I died trying to defend you and our land. The same night Voronika died in my arms.
So what do you want now?
Nahara, I know you and I have had limited interaction, but I assure you I've heard all about you.
Oh, yes, I'm sure that is a fact.
I've been told you're a fortune teller of some skill.
I have a good track record.
She's very good. She's excellent, actually.
Would you be willing to draw a card on my behalf? You apparently don't even know how to decide for myself. Let's see what fate entails. And you see he stops and he looks at the deck. And he says, there's an echo of von Zarovich on that thing.
Yes, I'm aware of that. You can hear it too?
In my blood.
And what is he saying to you?
Nothing that bears repeating. Yes, please, ma'am.
What is your question? What is your question?
What does fate hold for Armand Runes, formerly of Kashmar?
Well, you must tell me when to stop shuffling.
Voronika, you've decided everything else about my fate. Perhaps you should tell her when to stop shuffling.
Or perhaps be a man and do it for yourself.
The man I was died long ago. Stop!
Cut or from the top?
I think I've been cut deeply enough for one day. Thank you.
Very well. Ghost. Y'all.
Of course. It's been a lovely family reunion. Might I ask how it is our mother came to be in such a state?
You can thank Zybilna for that one.
Husband looks at Voronika and says, if you hadn't killed her, I would. For this, I'd rip her heart out.
Did she kill her, brother? Look a bit closer into those sweet Eladrin eyes that looked upon us very differently. Look. Zybilna is not gone. She is as much Zybilna as this place is Kashmar.
But
Isn't that right, my love?
Isn't that my prison? I wanted Kashmar, and yet it's still not fully mine. There will always be this thread of Zybilna woven within it.
There you go, brother. Come, let us raise arms. Avenge our mother. That's what you said you wanted, right? Perhaps we should fight side by side one last time, because that worked out so well for us last time. But now Father's here. Mother even. Perhaps She could even be coaxed into it. Perhaps, should we extract our vengeance, brother?
As I said, she hadn't killed Sibylna. I would. Sibylna's power now belongs to Voronika, just like Strahd lives on through you.
When you say Strahd lives on through you, he flies out and punches you in the face. And you see Desmond goes flying and lands in the ground.
Now see here. Hmm.
Strahd does not live in me.
I get in Armand's face and bear my facts. What's funny?
Everyone rushes to the defense of poor Desmond.
Desmond's
I'm
already
not-
standing, walking back to the conversation and kind of yells, just, it's not about anyone coming to defend me, brother. Your anger at the fact that Strahd lives through you doesn't change anything he does. It's in your actions. It's in your mannerisms. You are not the Armand that I once knew, and rightfully so. 50 years of torment would change anyone. I understand, and I sincerely wish there was something I could do to change that, but since I cannot, like right now, is for you to stop complaining about the things that have happened. I understand that they've happened to you. I will do everything in my power to support you in whatever it is that you decide to do moving forward. But either way, our mother is still right there in pain. Bilna harmed her in ways that we don't understand. What I would like to do is to help our mother. Doesn't matter what you're going through, what I'm going through, what Dad's going through, what anyone here is going through. Our mother is in pain. Shut up long enough for me to try and help her. Then we can settle this however you like. I still want to help you. I still want to support you. But you know what I would like to do more than any of that? Help our mother. Can you shut up long enough and help?
He motions his hand and your mother steps forward. What would you like to try?
What have you done to our mother?
You seem not to be getting through to her. I'm communicating in a language she understands.
And what is that?
Will.
I don't want to ask this question because you've been through so much, but I have to. Fight our mother. And I understand you are dealing with many things right now, and I am doing everything in my power and my will to remain calm and collect. Did you bite our mother?
Why would I have done such a thing? And more importantly, when? No. Ask the cleric. Does she smell of undeath?
No, Desmond, she doesn't. She's fully alive, unlike your father. She's herself. She's really here.
Brother Uriah, I appreciate that, but I do remember one thing from our travels in the other lands. There were 3 bites required change someone, correct?
I suppose,
That's
yes.
correct.
What happens after 1 or 2?
Well, one.
He does point at Nahara the moment you start talking. He's like, she knows.
One didn't affect me like that.
Did 2?
No.
Then I feel much better. Armand, I apologize. How is it that you are willing our mother to move so easily?
And give me a wisdom save.
– That's a whole 9.
Armand's suddenly making a lot of sense, and Desmond is really being an asshole.
Oh no, no.
No, you super get it. Like, Voronika, again, everyone has kind of done Armand dirty this entire time. Like, he really is the victim here.
I'm sorry, DJ.
You
the
do,
game.
to be very
The
clear.
dice are the dice.
To be very clear, you do not feel hostily compelled to act. You
Oh, I
just
know.
very much see and feel and are on Armand's side.
Oh no, it wasn't going to be
Betrayal.
physical. It was going to be verbal. My worst weapon.
Oh, then yes, please.
I just kind of raised my hand and put it gently on Desmond's chest. Desmond, I've told you before that I love you as a brother, but your blood brother is actually making sense. Am I able to even look him in the eye as I say this, or am I like looking away?
It's up to you. Specifically, you are charmed. Vampires have a very specific charm.
Can a vampire charm a Dhampir though?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
Again, your mind and will are your own. It's just you are super on Armand's side.
Okay.
The same way Tatiana was on Strahd's side way back
Got
when.
it. Got it.
Given what I know, how well I know Fen, and having known Fen for most of my life, might I try a passive insight to realize that she might be under the influence?
You know what? You specialize in this sort of thing. You're right. I won't even make you roll because Desmond's like, how are you doing this? And he looks at Finn, and then Finn is like, you know what? I think he's right. So,
so sort of mirroring what Fen is doing with Desmond, Uriah just sort of comes up. It's like, now, Fen, perhaps we should consider all the options, and as he pats her on the shoulder, dispel evil, which should get rid of it. This is going to be, you know what? I'm going to cast it at 7th level. Why not?
Okay, then.
Damn.
You've changed Fenn's alignment.
hold
Oh, wait, no, I don't think you can upcast it.
Yeah,
I think it has to be at 5th. It has to be at 5th.
Fifth is still punchy.
5th is still going to do it, though, I think.
And actually, yeah, it basically, it's not a roll. It's not like dispel magic. It basically, if I touch someone who is charmed, frightened, or possessed by celestial, elemental, fade, fiend, or undead, they just are no longer charmed or possessed or frightened.
Hold on, so a couple of different things happen.
So I can't imagine Desmond going, what?
Desmond was about to say, what?
You're right. Uriah. Finn steps towards Desmond, who is right in front of Armand. You reach out and say, we should listen. Let's just hear both sides of this. And their mother reaches out and grabs your arm. Just stares at you blankly. Doesn't let you touch Finn. She doesn't hurt you. She just stops you.
Can I use the other hand?
Are you going to attempt to use the other hand?
Yeah, and actually, we'll be just doing thinking. Oh, yes, very good. Yes, I'll just yes, and just sort of like try to get her attention and reach out with the other hand to touch Finn.
Give me an athletics check, Uriah.
Athletics. Oh
Mhm.
god.
Come on.
Mika would also be
Uriah?
helping.
Mm-hmm.
Voronika would be helping Uriah.
Guidance.
Well, hey, hang on.
Guidance, thank
no,
you.
You don't,
Yeah.
you don't have time to guidance him. This
Don't
all
have
happens,
time?
This all happens
Damn.
Okay.
quickly.
No,
So-
I do it from a distance.
Yes.
It's I mean, it's a good roll on the die, but I don't think Uriah gets any bonuses. So it's like
Damn.
17 on the die.
That is close. She doesn't hurt you, but
Mhm.
she physically throws you back. But yeah, you actually do a pretty good job of staying on your feet, Uriah. So it's only like a foot or two. And again,
Yeah.
completely blank face, doesn't make a sound. And Armand just looks you right in the eye, Uriah, and he's like, "Let Finn have her word, please."
Release her, sir.
I don't know what you mean.
I think you do.
Finn, you were saying?
And because I'm now
This all
charmed,
seems legit, Finn, all of it.
Oh, yeah. and I'm just like, Desmond, you're being hasty.
There's no being hasty. This feels like we're talking to Strahd right now. He
When you're-
says
oh, sorry.
he is upset when I say Strahd lives through him, yet he pulls Strahd's tricks.
You get angry and shift into a lycanthrope and bear our father's curse. We are our father's children, I suppose.
When Uriah says release him, my sun sword comes out.
Mm-hmm. And it comes on. When the sun sword comes out, he looks at you, Finn, and he's like, "Please don't let her harm me." Finn, this still seems legit. Again, to be clear, that doesn't mean you have to hurt Nahara, but you do not want to let Nahara hurt him.
So am I between Desmond and Armand?
Yeah, I guess because you got right in that you were close enough to touch Desmond, and then the mom intervened. So yeah, you're basically right there near the two of them. We'll say Uriah's 6 feet away. Again, she didn't just, football throw you. She just like moved you back. Hmm?
And
Go
is,
ahead.
is Fen still within arm's reach of Desmond?
Oh, yeah, I'm still touching
She'd be
Desmond.
right there in front of you. Yeah.
Desmond just reaches out to touch her hand and casts protection from evil and good.
Here, Voronika, while I'm looking this up exactly how this is
Yes.
going to interact. What is Voronika doing while this exchange is all happening?
Veronika's seeing what's happening. She
So
walks.
Sorry, I don't mean to
Ooh.
interrupt, but I can resolve this pretty quickly. Protection from evil requires a willing creature. Because of her charmed state, she's not willing. She doesn't want to get out of this because Armand seems legit. All right, sorry, Voronika, please go on.
So Veronika's seeing this happen. She walks deliberately over to Armand, positioning herself between him and everyone else. And she
He's-
reaches out to him.
He's taller than you, but not much taller than you, because he is
Yeah.
smaller than Desmond. Yeah. Although I
Yeah.
guess we've established Voronika was fairly tall for an Eladrin.
She was about 5'10".
Oh no, then he's just a
Under
little
5'10"?
a little taller than
Oh, wait, no, take it back. Think of the wrong Eladrin. Think of the other one.
Mhm.
No, she's like 5'6"-ish.
Okay. Well then yeah, he's got you by
Yeah.
a few inches. And when you get close, he
Yeah.
just looks at you. Yes, my love.
Armand. You know what? You're right. It's time I should make a choice. Make a very clear choice, very deliberate choice. Which brother? Which way? Which direction? And you see, it's not a hard choice at all. Because while it's very easy to take and want and need, it is much harder to build and keep and persist. And the sad thing is in the adversity that you have both faced, that you have both had to go through, one proved himself a far greater man than expected. And the other one, and she reaches out and touches him and draws, it's almost her fingernails going down the side of his cheek. One was just a scared, little boy.
And
And as she says
he
this,
raises his sword and is about to try and stab you in the heart with it.
When he
As-
does that, I'm sorry,
Mhm.
just real quick,
Mhm.
in his whispered in his ear, he could hear my voice as he sees Nahara hold up the card that he chose. And what he hears is the looming past, the return of an old enemy, or the discovery of a secret buried long ago.
Voronika.
as she finishes saying little boy, Armand's countenance changes. His pallor is gone. There's actually color in his cheeks again. And as she pulls her hand away, you see this wisp of ichor pulling into her fingernails.
I look at him with my eyes of the grave.
He no longer registers as undead.
He's alive. He's a living man once more.
And you immediately snap out of your charm. And Desmond, your mother, immediately.
Desmond, what? Wait,
And I would love to have this conversation, but give me one moment.
Armand just looks at you, the blood coming down his cheek, and he just says, one final loving act of imprisonment. Perfection.
Desmond hugs him.
You see he tries to fight it, but he's a human again. Nothing he could do. And you do make out very faint sobbing. Let me take Mother out of here. I'll find a way. I'll find Van Richten. I'm sure I can exchange what I know about Von Zarovich in exchange for his aid.
Brother. It's okay. Just be. I've loved you my entire life. I've known you out here. I had my hand on our mother's belly, feeling you. Always been my brother. Been through a lot. Don't worry about mom right now. Just be here with me right now. Desmond pulls him back a little bit, holding his arms in like a loving brother way, and just like, it is so good to see you and only you. Welcome back.
He looks up at you and he says, I suppose I have to discover who this Armand is then. And he stands up.
And you'll have to do it elsewhere.
What? Why? I could.
Voronika, please give him a few minutes.
It's too
Desmond.
late.
What happens?
Desmond looks him in the eyes. Oh,
Well, I will say he turns and looks at you and he says, Voronika, I'm sorry. I never meant to. And then what happens?
Voronika will pull Ala close to her and stand next to Cyril, placing the cape back over Ala. And she starts to pull herself, distancing herself between the group. I have spent too many years trying to fix things, trying to make it better. This can't keep happening. You need to
Right.
move on with your life. The life you have, Desmond, with your brother. Find a new
Voronika,
path.
at least let me try to save my mother. I never got the chance to at least try to talk to her. Changed.
If I find a way where she can be reasoned with your father's help, I'll let you know.
I can try right now, please.
Give up. I swear on both of my boys, I'll never give up.
This isn't your home anymore, Desmond. It's not your place to stay. And the mists start to surround them and weave in between you and your mother and your father. But Armand stands next to you as the mists pull you out of Koshmar. You hear
Before-
this almost reverberation this time, whereas before it was a quiet, it's as if a door has been slammed shut.
Before the door closes, Desmond reaches and grabs Armand's arm.
You feel his hand and you see his face. And he says, it won't take 50 years this time. The mists sweep you away. That is a good place